Hey guys, this is the second part of my two-part book talk and review of the following books: If I Stay by Gayle Forman and Where She Went by Gayle Forman. Now, Where She Went is different from If I Stay in many different ways because If I Stay is in Mia's first-person perspective. It has her memories and her experiences, her feelings about her family, and her ultimate decision to end up staying, which had somebody else's influence in it, but that's what Where She Went is all about. Alright, Where She Went is in Adam's perspective and his feelings about everything that's happened between him and Mia. Now, the book takes place 3 years after the accident, and Adam kind of has a new mantra. You know, it's just one 24-hour period to get yourself through, and his life is not what he expected it to be, but he does know that a lot of people would give up an arm and a leg to be experiencing the life he's living right now. Anywho, basically, Adam is a rock star now. His band, Shooting Star, shot to the top of the charts and has stayed there for a very long time. And pretty much everybody wants to know about the inspiration behind their #1 hit single, Collateral Damage. And Adam just keeps thinking about Mia. And basically, it alludes to the fact that him and Mia broke up. And she's the one that did the dumping. And Adam was kind of just left in the dust with Mia. Anywho, what happens is Adam wakes up in a hotel room. He is just kind of taking his morning Xanax, and it has to go and do another stupid interview with another dumb reporter that he knows is just after a big scoop. Anyway, but he remembers how he felt when Mia came out of the hospital. He was so excited, and basically they checked Mia into therapy and into a whole bunch of stuff to try to help her deal with the causations of the accident and all the stuff she's going to be feeling. Now, what Adam and everybody else thought was a little weird was when Mia got out of the hospital and when they told her that, you know, her mom, her dad, and her little brother were dead, she just kind of had like this no reaction. She was also kind of just deadpan and didn't really respond to much of what was happening. The only thing she could do was practice her cello day in and day out. The doctor said she wouldn't even have muscle strength for a while, but she really didn't care. She ended up practicing the cello, and that's the only thing that kind of, I guess, got her through. That was her emotional outlet. Her and Adam's relationship hit a very big snag because they couldn't really be intimate because of what happened to her in the accident. And Adam kind of started treating her like one of those porcelain dolls, and everybody's walking on eggshells around her as if they will say the wrong thing and then she'll go and off herself. Pretty much, you know? And Mia eventually makes this really abrupt decision to go to Julliard early, because she did get accepted, but she decides she wants to go early and she just wants to leave everybody behind right now. And Adam thought it was weird because she didn't ask him to go with her to Julliard, and he thought that was weird that she didn't want him to go with her to New York. But he thought, okay, she needs her space and her time, and you know, she just got out of the hospital and a lot of stuff's happened, so I'll give her her space and her time. And what ends up happening is they ended up having a very good texting relationship, I guess. You know, they would call and text each other and all that. But eventually, the breakup kind of happens like this. No more text messages, no more answered emails, no more calls. All contact ceases to exist. And Adam is very confused by it because this is a very cruel and harsh way to dump someone. And he kind of goes through a phase. He kind of quits Shooting Star and goes into the factory work with his father, and now his mom's like, I want something better for you. I don't want you to have a hard life. And Adam is just non-responsive to that, and eventually what ends up getting him back into writing songs and back into Shooting Star is not Mia, but the memory of her. Her friend Kim comes down to visit, and they were kind of doing like this Adam-Kim thing where they made sure Mia was okay. But Kim came down as a goodwill checkup on him because she heard about all the stuff, all the shenanigans he's been up to. And Adam kind of just wants to know what the hell is going on with Mia, and Kim says, I can't talk to her about you, and I will not talk to you about her. He explodes, and Kim just kind of leaves. kind of confused and a little bit frustrated. So Adam ends up starting to write, and that's where the hit song Collateral Damage comes out of, Adam's pain from being dumped by his true love, Mia. And he goes back into the old band room, the old living quarters he used to share with the front woman, Liz, and shows them all his new songs. And they just thought that, you know, he was just taking a break from music forever after what happened with Mia, but he was actually writing all this time. Not really, but you know what, he'll let them believe that. So basically, there's even a verse in each of the chapter from Collateral Damage that he wrote. And let me find one. Needle and thread, flesh and bone, split and sinew, heartbreak is home, your suture lines sparkle like diamonds, bright stars to light my confinement. Very poetic stuff. I mean, it's very painful, but it's poetic. I mean, it's not exactly the whole baby, baby Justin Bieber beat, and it's dark, but it's nice. And then there's another one called The Bow is So Old, its horsehair is glue, sent to the factory just like me and like you. So how come they stayed your execution? The audience roars, it's standing ovation. It's basically all like collateral damage, and the song is harsh and dark and painful, and there's just a lot of anger in that song. He has a lot of hatred, and he's just really mad at Mia. It's scary a little bit. And then back to his life now. He's going to an interview with a reporter from another magazine. Doesn't even know the name of. He really doesn't care. His manager basically told them that, you know, they're not allowed to ask any personal questions about any of the band members. So, anywho, the reporter chick knows she's really attractive and owns it. She even has a tramp stamp, and she gets right into it. She talks about how much she loves Collateral Damage, and then she says that she did some research on him by going back to his old hometown, brings up Mia, brings up everything about Mia's and her family's accident, and even does this bitchy, like, ooh, oh, what she went through, ooh. Adam explodes and calls her a vulture, breaks her recorder, and leaves. And basically, his manager decides that Adam needs some time, and him and the band haven't been close in a while either, so the manager says, okay, we'll go on a flight tomorrow. Now, Adam has a lot of free time, and his celebrity girlfriend is off doing a movie, so he has some time in New York. Now, he's just walking around one day, and he kind of sees this poster of Mia, literally, and the poster reads, Young Concert Series presents Mia Hall, and she's playing in a concert hall, and he decides to buy a ticket, and he was hoping nobody would recognize him, but a lot of the staff members do, and after Mia finishes playing, she asks one of the staff members to bring Adam backstage, and they talk. And basically, Mia invites him to just show him around New York and her New York. And he says, fine. And he's just kind of wondering what the hell is going on, because they haven't seen each other in years. And he just wanted to snap at her. He was just a lot of build-up anger. He's so freaking angry. You can feel it in every word, basically. And as they're going around, Mia shows him her haunts, like this bar, this diner she goes down to, and they kind of like know her, and they're very polite to her. Then she goes to the ferry, and they go on a ride, and they go to a bunch of other places. And after that, they go to this garden that her teacher showed her to, and he thought that originally Mia had a boyfriend, but turns out she didn't. She was really focusing on her music. She told him about how frustrated she was with trying to find a good roommate, and it's a lot harder than it looks to make a living in New York. And pretty much, Adam is still waiting for, whatever is happening to happen. And then in the garden, they pretty much just talk, and then Mia takes him back to her place, and she shows him around. And there's a lot of family pictures, but she took a lot of time to not put up any pictures of him, and he noticed because her mom included him in a lot of the family photos. So he was like, well, that sucks, but I guess I can understand. And pretty much what happens is she goes upstairs and she wants to show Adam something, and she shows him his old guitar, and they ended up playing together. But for that, Adam kind of explodes, like saying, "What do you want from me? You're the one that broke up with me, remember? You hurt me. How could you do that?" And then Mia said, "Because I hated you. Life was so much better without you there. It was a lot easier for me to breathe. Because I wanted to go and you made me stay." And then he thinks back to the promise that he made. And she thought he would understand, especially that he would understand what she was going through. And Adam was just kind of he had to absorb all of this, like all of this one step at a time, because this is not those happy informations you get. This is depressing stuff. And he just kind of just stands there, deadpan, just like Mia when she came out of the hospital. And what happens is she says, "But I don't anymore. I realized how much I missed you, and I love you so much that even when I hated you, I couldn't stop thinking about you." And she's like, "Just like when my parents gave me my first cello on my first night of my first recital, I think tonight they brought me and you back together because you're my second gift." And it was like a really nice thing to say, and Adam was really even more confused. But, you know, as soon as he touched her cheek and there was like electricity, they pretty much had sex in the garden. Like anybody could walk by because it's like windows, but whatever. Then they take it upstairs and then they take it to the couch. And then they sleep. And Adam's supposed to go back to meet the band, and then he agrees with his manager. He calls him to do one more tour, but then he's going to stop doing music. And then him and Mia do this like long distance plane relationship, and they ended up both of them committing to each other, kind of, and him and Mia end up releasing an album together in the end. So they end up coming back together after being apart for a long time. And Adam even breaks up with his girlfriend, and she's like, "Okay, fine, well, you know what? I was sick of competing with her ghost anyway. Go be happy with your ghost." And that's pretty much how they end up releasing an album together. Him and Mia are happy together, and that is how Where She Went, freaking, you know, how Where She Went. And it's a really interesting book because it's not like If I Stay. It's all of Adam's thoughts and his feelings and his songs and all of his experiences. And it even talks about how he first met Liz. But, you know, this video would be a lot longer if I talked about that. So read this book too. It's fantastic. Has a happy ending. So that is my coverage of If I Stay and Where She Went. This is Hello Awesome, and this has been your daily dose of awesome. Alright guys, see you in my next video.